Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. And today, our topic is how to live aligned, liberated, and abundantly. And my very special guest is Dr. Toya Davis. And I'm super excited and delighted to have her with me tonight. But before I bring her on, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on my personal LinkedIn page. But this is an interactive live, and we fully expect to hear from you. Your comments, your questions are welcome. And this is an engaging conversation about alignment, liberation, and abundance. And so we need to hear from you. We need to hear from you. She has a special event coming up here in Tallahassee. Well, actually, it'll be virtual that she's going to talk to us about, which is actually aligns with our topic tonight. And so this is for everybody. So please like and share and tag a friend and tell them, join this conversation. Happy September. Happy Labor Day. I know FSU is playing right now, Boston College. I think when I sat down, it was 0-7. FSU was not winning, but hopefully they will prevail. All right. I see a few of you have joined us. Brother Malcolm here in Tallahassee, thank you for being here. Brother Ozzy in Virginia Beach, thank you for being here, Oz. Appreciate you so much. Ozzy was on last Monday. I think it was last Monday, yes. All right. So I know there'll be more folks joining us, but I am going to go ahead and read some of Dr. Toya's bio. Dr. Latoya Davis is an alignment and mindset coach and spiritual, intuitive, empowering, high achieving woman to rewrite their life narratives. With 20 years of experience as a spiritual mentor, teacher, and coach, she has developed a signature 5-step process that has helped nearly 1,000 women overcome societal, ancestral, and personal barriers. Dr. Davis is the founder of the I hope I said that right. Chi Healing Institute and creator of the My Ancestors Keeper Lineage Healing Program and Soul Wisdom Akashic Mastery certification, training professionals worldwide. An internationally recognized author and speaker, her work has been featured in Economic Insider, CEO Weekly, and Woman's Journal. Dr. Davis is a featured author in Lisa Nichols' latest book, Against All Odds. Dr. Davis's holistic approach, blending spirituality, mental wellness, and emotional intelligence, has inspired countless women to embrace their limitless potential, increase their income, advance their careers, and enrich their personal relationships. She is also my homegirl. She's from Miami and a FAMU Rattler. So y'all help me welcome Dr. Latoya Davis. Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you. So glad to be here.
So glad to have you. So I gotta have you tell the people who is Dr. Toya, not what you do, because we just talked a little bit about that, and we only covered just a little bit of what you do. But
Yes.
who are you? Who are you in your own words?
Yeah. I always say the answer to that question depends on the day, right? The part that never changes is I'm a mother. And that is a lot of the thing that guides me and kind of pushes me forward in the world.
Yes.
I am an absolute advocate for creating a place where girls and women get to show up unapologetically and to take up space, and
Mhm.
however that needs to look, right? In whatever format or place or setting I'm in, I stand in that gap. I'm a
Yes.
dancer. So I say by training, right? I've studied ballet, tap, jazz, and hip hop. And then I found my love in college, which is African based dance.
Yeah.
So I teach I teach Afro Cuban, Afro Haitian, and Afro Brazilian dance. And
Mhm.
those really are like the key things, right? And I travel and I eat. Everything else fits in there.
All right.
Everything else fits in there. But yeah, that's who I am on a consistent day-to-day basis. Those things don't change.
Indeed, indeed, and a wonderful dancer you are. I've had the pleasure of observing mostly with not only ACDT but Ayoka, African dance and drum. Hopefully, some of them will be joining us tonight, and for their festival, their 2 years. This past June and June of last year, they you helped to make the festival come to life, come happen over at FSU School of Dance. So
Yes.
we are truly grateful for your contribution to that effort. So again, thank you so much for being here and definitely welcome.
Yes, you're very welcome. And just to that point, I guess another key aspect of me is and this ties into the African or the diasporic. I like to say the diasporic dance forms is one of the things that I focus on really is like community engagement and building community.
Hmm.
And I personally believe in my area of study is that diasporic forms naturally
Mm.
create community.
Hmm.
And because I think that it is important for people that look like us to feel seen, to have safe spaces, that is another part, right, of the thing that I love to do and helping to create that and support that.
Yes, love it, love it, love it, love it. So I'm gonna jump right into this event that you have going on. So tell the people about your event.
Yes, so September 14th, I, along with four other dynamic speakers, will be hosting, well, I'm hosting. It's called Aligned, Liberated, and Abundant. It's a virtual conference and it goes from 10 to 4. And the impetus for this really is a few years ago, I did a manifesting abundance conference. It was very well attended. I do a lot of workshops and travel and doing all types of stuff. And people want abundance, right? We talk about that all the time, but I
Mm.
realize in my work that it is only a component. And if we don't really dive into some of the other aspects, it becomes fleeting
Yes.
and it becomes like this hamster wheel, right? It's this cycle that
Mhm.
we jump on and we keep trying to attain this ever moving target. And the more important aspect, or I don't want to rank them, but when you get the alignment and you get the liberation and you tie it into the abundance, then it just makes for a much more seamless, and harmonious way of being. And so this conference came out of that kind of like, okay, I don't want to do the same thing again. It was great, but now how can I help people even more? And
Yeah.
so that is how I came up with this Aligned, Liberated, and Abundance conference. And I'm so excited because the speakers that will be joining us are all like just powerhouses in their own respective right and in their field. So I'm excited for the conversations that we'll have.
Indeed, indeed. So we will definitely um, hear more about that at the end, but this was kind of how we came to even have this conversation tonight, which is very important.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you again for joining me and for, leading this conversation. So
Yeah.
I see a few more folks have joined us. I want to definitely recognize them. Steph McMillan, welcome from North Florida. Thank you for being here, Steph. Happy Monday. We also have Dr. Williams Eduardo. Thank you for being here. And Miss Sharice Du Bois, who's in the Atlanta area. Thank you for joining us. All right. Oh, and my mom. Okay. Hey, Ma. Hey. Hey, from Miami. Thank you for being here. And Sister Latanya Smith, who was also in the Atlanta area and had a birthday the other day. Happy belated birthday again, sis. I appreciate you. All right. So let's dive in. We're talking how to live aligned, liberated, and abundantly. But before we dive in, I want to get the viewers involved. So I know I have heard the term alignment quite a bit, probably over the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years. And so I want to hear from you all. What does alignment mean to you all? And I'm not talking about like, your vertebrae being aligned, but I need to know, what does alignment when we talk about alignment, what does that mean to you? Let us know in the comments if you don't mind sharing. And we got Miss Shanika President on here with us. Looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for being here. All right. What does alignment mean to you all? We're going to dive in terms of talking about what it is, but I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about it? And there are no wrong answers here. We just want to know what your thoughts are about what alignment is. I will start off by saying when I think of alignment, I think about being um, kind of decent and in order, in terms of, and not that you have to be perfect, but just that it feels right. And not, I'm probably not saying this right, correctly at all the way I'm
No wrong answers.
I know, right? I'm being hard on myself, but it's it's like it just it feels right. I feel like you're in your zone when things are aligned, and it's going well. It's going well. All
Mhm,
right, we got Mr. Brother Solomon on. He said being on the same page with a cause, someone, or something. Love that definition. Thank you.
mhm.
All right, Miss Tracy Gole is on here with us. Thank you for being here, Tracy. All right. All right. Well, maybe some others will give us their definition, but Dr. Toya, what you got?
Yeah, so I think that both Solomon's definition and yours, and Tracy has now said centered, are
Mhm.
all really good versions, right? There is no wrong answer, right? What is aligned for me might not be aligned for someone else, might not be aligned for someone else. But
Right.
when I am talking about or kind of thinking about alignment, for me, it is that space where things just kind of seem to go with the flow, right?
Mhm.
It is when we're not pushing up the stream, right? When we're not fighting the current, when we're not trying to break down the doors, that is often the sign. When the things are going smoothly, that is often the sign that we are in alignment.
Mhm.
And from the standpoint of like, well, how do we get in alignment? Alignment for me is simply saying we all came here with a purpose, a path, a gift, or whatever that thing is, right? Some people
Mhm.
call it destiny. I don't really go down, but whatever that is, right? We all came here with some version of how we are designed to be and show up in the world.
Yeah.
And when we are living that, then things flow with ease. It is
Mm.
when we are going against those things that are inherent to us that we become out of alignment.
Mhm.
And for me, most times we become out of alignment because we are taking on other people's values, ideas, customs, patterns. And so we start to live in those things. And that's when we create misalignment. But
Mm.
being true to who you are at what I call soul level, right? Being true to who you are at soul level is
Mm.
alignment.
Okay. All right. Now, now you and I talked about this in terms of folks walking around here not really knowing who they are. So, how do we get to that? You said being true to yourself, but some people really don't. I mean, they think they know who they are, but really they don't know. They copying some other stuff.
Yeah. So I always say that we always know, right? We can choose to ignore, we can choose to suppress, we can hear that voice and be like, no, but I'm going to do this other thing. But the
Mhm.
reality is, our true self never stops talking to us or trying to communicate us or push us in the right direction.
Mm.
And that I'm going to give this my daughter took a test,
Okay.
last week. I think she took a math test or something last week. And I'm always trying to instill in them my thing. They probably get tired of me saying first thought is the right thought. We've all heard that, right?
Yeah.
When you think
First
about something, you've tipped by the time you've thought about it, you've pushed the original thing from out of your mind, and now you've taken on all of the self-talk. That's what jumps in after the fact. So she took the test, and later she was like, Mom, I got an 85 on the test. And I was like, well, what happened? And she was like, all of the answers that I crossed out, the ones that she got wrong were all of the ones that she crossed out. I said, what
Hmm.
happened? You didn't trust your first self, right?
Mm,
Like, how many times do I have your first self is going to always be the right thing? But what happens is we have lived in a way where we have taken questioning, right? It's like, dang, is that, did I hear myself say that? Oh, my stomach felt this way, but that's not really real.
mm,
Oh, I know when I walked in there, I felt, but no, everybody else is here. Everybody else is fine.
yeah.
Right. So
Mm,
I believe that the best version of ourselves is always trying to communicate with us,
mhm.
and we suppress it. And how we return to being able to hear that and align with that and be guided by that. Part of it is by intention, right? Just simply saying, you know what? I recognize that sometimes I'm allowing other factors to step in and lead, and I am going to consciously, right, take the time and listen to myself and follow myself. And one of the things that I tell my clients is start small, right? So like let's say in the morning time, you say, today I'm going to listen to my best self, or my, I call it my highest self. Today I'm going to
Okay.
listen to my highest self, right? That's what you say in the morning.
Right.
And throughout the day, you say, when you first start off, you say you're going to do it about small things, right? So maybe you say, I'll listen to myself today with regard to which direction I take, like which
Mm,
path I take to school or to work or wherever, right? So you
mhm.
start with small things. And what happens is you start to realize that, wait a minute, when I listen to that voice or that feeling or that sensation, right? When I followed that, there was no stress, right? I missed the
Mhm.
traffic jam, right? I got to work and everybody else was talking about, did you see this particular thing? Nope, that didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
And then you start to expand it. And then eventually you retrained yourself to hear yourself,
Yeah.
right? And that's alignment.
So oh, I got a few things I want to say, but a few folks have joined us. So
Yes.
Marlene, hey, thank you for being here. My sister Shayla in Miami, or not Miami, Broward. Thank you for being here. And Miss Lisa Perry has joined us, who's here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us as well, Lisa. So Malcolm said, moving through the embodying of your true self. Yes, agreed. And then Solomon said, a lot of us were never taught to know who we are and where we truly came from. Hmm. So let me roll back a little bit, because as you said, like our best selves is talking to us, but we suppress it, right? We
Mhm.
second guess, we, say, no, that's not right. And I think also many of us are going through the motions of life. Like we are like functioning on autopilot. Like, this is what I do on Monday. This is what I do at 9 in the morning.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
is what I do at noon. you know,
Mhm.
not that this is a new day, new experiences. Yes, I have this job that I may go to or what have you, but even that, it's a new day, a day we've not seen before, but we get into these modes, right? And don't get me wrong, because I'm not speaking anti-routine, because we do have to have some
Mhm.
semblance of normalcy in our lives. But again, our best selves is talking to us like all the time, right?
Yes. Yes. I
But we don't necessarily pay attention.
We don't. And part of that getting stuck in the routine, right? The roteness of life is
Mhm.
a part of the conditioning. It's a part of the programming that
Yeah.
says, even just think about like my parents, right? Both worked until they were, my dad, what, 30 something years, my mom, like they worked because the programming said you get a job, you show up every day, right? You go there until you retire,
Yeah.
And then they both retired with illnesses, so they couldn't live life, the thing that they were waiting to do to retire, right? But that's what
Mhm.
the programming said. They
Yeah.
didn't know enough at that time to be able to go against the program. And
Mm.
part of what happens when we are in alignment, when we say, okay, no, I am truly going to listen to myself and I'm going to follow that thing, part of that is faith, right? Part of the thing of I am going to listen to myself is the belief that you deserve the best and the best is going to happen to you, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, if I believe that, then I am more free, I am more willing, I am more able to break the program and to break the pattern. But we stay locked in it because fear has told us, if you go against this, you're going to end up desolate, or I don't know, right? So many other things and ways that we are taught to kind of stay in lockstep. And I'm team break lock, break step.
Listen, so you said a lot. The belief that I deserve so just that right there. That's a whole show right there. I'm just like, we don't even have to really do nothing more. Like, just unpacking that whole, like, I deserve, I am worthy, I am adequate, I
Yeah,
am enough, I
yeah,
am worthy, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm all of that in a bag of chips.
yes,
Like, we
yes,
struggle with that.
yes. Yes, I was a conversation with somebody, and they were team grind, right? Team, and I'm like, I'm team I deserve it simply because I am, right? Simply
Mhm.
by the nature that I woke up today, I deserve whatever it is that I want. And people call me spoiled. That's fine. Right? I'll take it. But I also know that I work. Like nothing, I work for what I get. Right.
Mm.
And I am in alignment with who I am and how I'm supposed to be. And because of that, the things that come to me, I believe that I fully deserve. When
Yeah.
we do not feel like we deserve things, we create struggle, right? We create um we create this kind of self-sabotaging behavior
Yeah.
when we feel that we don't, and it's not a conscious thing. Unconsciously and subconsciously, the mind is responding to not necessarily the words that are coming out of your mouth, but the beliefs that you're holding in your heart in the program that's running in your head. So if you're saying out of your mouth, right, no, I want this great relationship and this harmonious
Ooh,
family and all of this. That's what you're saying out of your mouth. But in your heart and in your spirit of spirits, you're like, well, I don't know, because nobody else in my family has done it. Or, oh, but when I was younger, I was out there in these streets. Excuse me, y'all. And so now I
oh,
don't.
man.
And so now I don't deserve it. So now you're creating conflict, right? And you start to do things that are actually in response to the things in the ways that you were really believing versus the things that are coming out of the things that are coming out of your mouth. So I think it's really important for us to identify those internal beliefs and those internal thoughts where we feel resistance when we say an affirmation like I deserve the best, right? If that doesn't roll out your mouth and it feels good and true, we need to tap in and say, okay, why does this feel icky? Where is this resistance coming from?
I'm about to jump out my skin because, listen, we got Malicia on here. She said definitely making an exodus from grind mode. Speak,
Yes,
sis.
yes,
We got Ishmael Rents in Gainesville said suppressing our best selves runs close to imposter syndrome. Amen, my brother.
yes,
And
yes.
Marlene says people catch flights to South Florida to enjoy the beach, etc. And I live as though it's not right up the street. So all I'm saying is, like, we got a lot of stuff. And when I say we, I'm talking about Black folks, okay? So specifically, all right,
Mhm.
that speak to us suppressing our best selves and thinking we got to be grinding all the doggone time. We got to work 50 times as hard to
Mhm.
get some said promotion or whatever the case may be.
Yes,
No,
yes,
stop it. You do
yes.
not. I'm not telling you you should not do things with excellence,
Mhm.
but you do not need to work 70, 80 hours a week to get said promotion. No, no, stop it.
Yes. Yes. Stop it.
All
Yes.
right.
I was before I moved back to Tallahassee, we were living in Lake Wells, Florida. And Lake Wells is most people don't know where Lake Wells is, right? Or what Lake Wells is. Lake Wells is the actual center of Florida. It is about 45 minutes to an hour south of Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
It literally is the center, right? North, south, east, west, center of Florida. And, I grew up in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, I thought I knew, I never experienced the version of white people that I met until I got to Lake Wells, right?
Mm.
Miami is, I recognize after the fact, Miami is metropolitan. There's this amalgamation. Lake Wells is, we have money because it's old money, right?
Mm.
And so being there as a Black family that was highly educated, at the time, my ex-husband, he was the director of a center there. I was the director of another center. So we were young, we were Black, we were highly educated, right?
Mm.
And the energy that came with that
Mm.
was a lot to handle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I had allowed myself to fall into a lot of the traps of what I should be doing, because
Mm.
I was a young Black woman living in this space, right? Falling into that, I have to prove myself. I have to
Mm-hmm.
be there. I have to do this thing. They would have used me for everything that I had,
Yep.
right? Without a
Yep.
second thought.
Yep.
That wasn't originally where I was going with that story. Let me bring it back. So,
No, but it's a good story because I could very well see in that scenario how you could have run yourself ragged trying to prove that you were worthy and deserving and what have you, just to be accepted, like what have you,
yeah.
in this space that you are live, working, and playing.
Yes, yes. But so I had little kids at the time. They were like 1 and 3 or something like that, right?
Right.
And we befriended a family there. And it was like 2 families, we befriended them. And one of the things that I realized when I would watch them play, there was a white family, I would watch them play, was the restrictions that we put on our children in what should be their free and open space wasn't
Mm.
happening. They weren't
Mhm.
made to be quiet, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're in this space. They weren't made to like go sit down. That's just like, I really just started to watch the freedom that the
Mhm.
children got to live life with.
Yeah.
And I said in that moment, wait, why can't I raise my child with that same freedom? Granted,
Mm.
I know what it means, again, from Miami, right? And people are like,
Yeah.
what part of Miami? Miami, Miami, right? So I know what it means. I
The
know what it
city.
means to be a Black person living in this world.
Right.
But what I recognized was that a lot of that programming that I took on as a child was
Mm.
preventing me from showing up authentically as an adult, right? It was
Mm.
the thing that automatically would make me shrink when I walk into a room because I was scared to draw attention. It was
Mm.
the thing that made me scared to speak up. It was the
Mm.
thing that made me scared to say, no, I don't want to do that,
Yeah.
right? Or I don't feel comfortable because I thought that, nope, this is what you do, this is how you go, this is how you be. And I just watch these little kids have fun and frolic and do all of the things. And I was like, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I am absolutely doing that. And today, anybody that meets my kids will tell you they're the most well behaved. Like me doing that didn't somehow impact their development, right?
Right.
The teachers at their school love them. Everybody goes out of their way because they're great. But why are they great? They're great because they have learned agency. They're
Mm.
great because they have learned that their space is their space and they get to dictate what happens in their space. They're great because they understand that as children, yes, they are small. And we as adults, me and their dad, are there to help them navigate. but we've
Mhm.
also taught them to critically think, to
Yeah.
assess, to not be afraid to explore, and
Mm,
most importantly, that it's okay to fail. What I
yeah.
realized about that, sit here, don't do this, is we were teaching each other, or we were being taught that it's not okay to fail,
Mhm.
and that not okay to failness is what keeps us stuck in patterns, right? It's like, well,
Yeah.
no, because if I do it wrong, then boom, 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 boom. Did you die?
Ooh, that
Right? Do it again. Make a better choice next time.
yeah, no, that's real good. That is that oh, that's real good. Okay, we are like halfway through our talk.
Sorry. Yes.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, and I see you, Margot, thank you for joining us. She's in Orlando area. Um, I'm on with Dr. Latoya Davis, and we are talking how to live aligned, liberated, and abundantly. And so far, we have talked about definition for alignment, which is being true to yourself, being the best version of yourselves, how our best version is showing up for us daily, but we suppress it. And so, how do we get out of doing that? Having the belief that we deserve the best and that we don't have to grind and hustle and be 10 times as good as our non-melanated counterparts in these work environments. I recently had two young ladies on that talked about Black women in the workplace and just some of the hazing that has taken place. And it has caused some real mental distress for these young ladies.
Mhm.
So much so that, they didn't want to be here anymore.
Mm,
And so, I'm really, proud of them for basically standing up for themselves and, taking their power back. And so, they recognize that they are great and
mm,
that they don't have to go through all of the kind of workplace hazing that takes place with you know some of the supervisors and colleagues and all of that sort of thing. So I just you talked about that whole okay to fail piece. I think that's huge as well. Teaching our children that it's okay to fail, like that, to me instills resilience that helps build confidence, right?
mhm,
Because
mhm.
after you've had this experience, it's like, okay, how can I do better? What do I do to make a better choice next time?
Yes. Yes. And
Mhm,
that's always the question for me, particularly like, okay, what did you learn from this? Now what can you do next time? I remember when it was the coach for, I think it was I don't remember if it was the Miami Dolphins or the Hurricanes.
mhm.
And I watched this interview. This was a long time ago. I watched this interview, and in the interview, he was a new coach, and he said, "Fail forward fast." And I was like, "That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard." I was like, "Why would you aim
To
to
fail.
fail?" But
Mhm.
now, when I tell you, I am team fail forward fast, right? The failing is inevitable,
Yeah.
right? The the beauty in the failure is how fast are you able to take those lessons from the failure and move forward. Right. So
Mhm.
fail forward fast is just like, you know what? Instead of me sitting here, hemming and hawing, trying to figure out all of the thousand variables around the thing, right? By the time I've analyzed it to death, I could
Yeah.
have done it 30 times and improved on the process each time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I fail forward fast. And with my kids, I'm like, literally just make a better choice. Right.
Mhm.
What went wrong? What part didn't you like? Now let's make a better choice next time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Malicia said, we have not been taught to operate with receiving energy and true faith. Mm.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would also agree with that as well. But we got to change that. We got to turn that around.
Right. Yeah.
We got to turn that around.
Yes, I agree. I think intention for me is big in starting to shift anything, right? So
Mm,
once I create the intention that I'm going to do something, again, this goes back to my trust, right?
mm,
I trust that whatever the pieces are or the breadcrumbs will start to find their way to me.
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I trust that I will follow those appropriately. One of my favorite affirmations is, I always make the next best choice.
Mm.
Particularly if I find myself like, which way do I go? Right. I always make the next best choice. And again, that's building that trust and that faith and that confidence in myself, to know that I'm going to do the right thing. And
Yeah.
so we set intention. So I'm bringing it. So we set the intention. We trust that
Yes.
the intention that we set is going to come to pass, and then we do the work as that stuff starts to come to pass. Right. Sometimes we set the intention, the stuff starts to come to pass, but then we don't do the work. Right. So all three of them kind of have to go together. But that is how we shift that energy of that we didn't know or we didn't learn. Right.
So you said that real quick. Oh, wait a minute. Set the intention.
Yes.
So this is, what we want to happen, right?
Mhm.
So would you equate this with goal setting or no?
So it is and it's not, right?
Oh,
I Some people do use the term interchangeably. I believe that goals are kind of so I'm a grant writer, right?
mhm.
I do program evaluation and I do grant writing. So for
Right.
me, goals, follow it's like goals, objectives. Now, how are you going to evaluate the objective, like to determine if you met the goal? Intention is not that.
Okay.
Intention is, I want to do whatever. And I then don't hold on to how it's going to happen.
All
Right.
right.
I trust, again, that kind of whatever is those things are going to, show themselves, and I'm going to follow that. Versus when I set a goal, if I have a goal to, um, I don't know, make $100,000 this month. Now I'm going to talk about, okay, how am I going to do it? Going to map that out. Okay, great. I can go back, analyze, regroup. My intention is to be great, right?
Okay.
My
Okay.
intention is to show up. Hmm.
Okay. So you said set the intention, trust the intention will come to pass. And then what was the
Hmm.
third thing?
Do the work.
Do the work. Okay.
Hmm.
Now tell me about the trust the intention will come to pass. Because to me, that is very important
Yeah.
because now we're talking about belief and faith
Hmm. Hmm.
and your even though it hasn't come to pass, you not being discouraged because it hasn't come to pass, right?
Yes.
I think sometimes
So
we can be impatient, right?
yes, we can.
Mhm,
And so remember, I'm an alignment and a mindset coach, right? And so the thing with mindset and one of the things where I focus on is really I delve into or how like neuroscience. I love metaphysics. Like, so for me, all of that stuff comes together. And in the world of we'll just call them universal laws, we say energy follows intention.
mm,
Right, where our intention goes is where energy flows is a really common thing. And I
mhm,
like to say, like, once we've set the intention, like, and again, not like before when the words out of my mouth don't match with the things in my heart, right? But when I am truly in alignment, that heart mind coherence of the thing that
mhm,
I'm saying and the thing that I'm truly desiring, then the way that goes is, as long as I continue to pour energy and belief, faith,
mhm,
hope, whatever it is, into that intention, universal law says that it has to happen. Does it have to
mm,
happen fast? Nope. Because right, it has to go through all of the other blockages, or it has to find its way to
yeah,
you, right? And this comes through that idea of the faith, right? Are we wavering in our faith? Are we wavering in our belief?
mm,
Are we going to shift? Are we going to shift the thing because, well, I really thought it was going to happen by tomorrow. Ooh, it's not here. So let me change the plan. Right now we're starting all over.
yeah,
There's this thing that says, there's this story. I can't remember who it is right now, but it basically talks about they were digging for gold
uh-huh,
and had been digging, 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 and gave up. Sorry, had been digging and gave up like 5 meters. It was like something like 5 meters or 5 yards before they struck the goal. They were
Mm-hmm.
they sold the gold mine to someone else.
Mm.
Person came in, day two, boom, gold, right?
Go.
Because they had given up. And
Yeah.
so if you were in alignment,
Mm-hmm.
right, then we trust that thing, because alignment is we're not fighting against the grain. We are being true to who our self is. So that
Yeah.
thing will come to pass. You
Yeah.
just have to believe it.
Yeah. You got to believe it. I see Whitney Moore has joined us. Thank you for being here, Whitney. So, and then do the work. So, what is do the work? I mean,
Do
'cause
the
it
work.
sound like the belief. That's hard work, right there. That belief part, that faith part. Okay, but how do we do the work?
Do the work is literally like, what is that Bible saying? Say, first, faith without works is
It's
dead.
dead. Yep.
Right. The work is literally, and it doesn't have to be the grind, right?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be the toil.
Right.
um it can be as simple as reaffirming the thing that you want to do. I'm trying to
Okay.
lose weight. I'll use myself. Right, I'm trying to lose
Okay.
weight. I
All
can
right.
believe that it's gonna happen. I have set the intention that it's gonna happen. But if I don't get up in the morning time and go to the gym or
Hello.
walk
Yep.
or monitor my, I don't really monitor my food. I ain't gonna lie about that one. But if I don't do something, right,
Okay.
no matter what intention I've set, no
Mm.
matter how much faith I haven't done the work
Yeah.
that goes with that thing, right?
Mm.
Now, if I was just working, toiling, like now, because we know people who they're like, I'm at the gym 3, 4, 5 times a day. We going hard, but then they don't believe that they
Yeah.
can actually lose the weight. They are
Yeah.
still not going to lose the weight, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the energy, the intention, the thing that they're putting out there says, I'm going to stay where I'm at. Energy follows intent, right?
Energy follows intent.
Regardless of the what, energy follows intent. Whereas if we just brought all of them together, you would see how it comes, like, see how much easier it falls into place.
Where our energy goes, the intention follows.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Y'all heard that. So we got to do the work. Set the intention. Trust the intention will come to pass. Do the work.
Do the work. Yep. We can't leave that part out.
Whew.
One of the things that's so part of the reason that I am, I think part of the reason that I'm really successful as a coach is because we do the work, right? A lot of times people come to you and they are trying to get the fast answer, right? Or the easy fix. It's like, I want the magic button,
Yeah.
right? It was the easy on button. I want the easy on button.
I want it
And
now.
particularly as we are trying to uncover and unravel, I look for root causes.
Yeah.
That's my focus. I look for root causes of kind of where we are operating in patterns. Like, why are you doing that? When did it
Mm,
start? So that we can start to unravel it there. And
mm,
that's work, right? And sometimes people don't want to dig that deep, or don't want to feel, or don't want to experience. And that's
mm,
fine.
mm.
We can make small progress. We
Yeah.
can. We can make small progress, and you can live a life that feels better than the life you're living right now. But if you
Yeah.
want a great life,
You want a
right,
great
this is the work that you have to do. And we're going to be accountable to that.
life. Oh. Oh, Dr. Toya. This is tough. Whew. All right. Miss Brittany has joined us. Thank you for being here. Miss Audrey, great presentation and discussion. Thank you, Miss Audrey. And my sister Shak Africa over in Jacksonville is on. Thank you for being here, Shaq. Whew. All right. So we talked alignment, and I think what she just talked about really was our liberation too. So there's
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And the abundance, right?
Yes. Remember, I started with the whole reason. I was like, the reason these came together is because if you're doing one without all three, it doesn't work out, right? It's not that it can't happen. It's not that you can't have alignment, right? But if you're in alignment, and then as soon as somebody else comes with the new idea or a new thing that you need to do, You've broken liberation, which pushes you out of alignment, right? When you're not in alignment, you can be working to get money, but you're working hard because you're going against who you are as at the core of yourself. But when you're able to bring them together, my mantra is we bring a life of joy, ease, and abundance, right? So when you bring them all together, you are really able to create that life of joy, ease, and abundance.
Gotcha. All right. We got Alethea on with us, who's here in Tally. Thank you for being here. All right. And Shaq said Tallahassee till Thursday. All right, cool. Okay, so I gotta circle back a little bit because I'm struggling a little bit over here. I'm struggling. You see me, I'm like got me a little easy over here. All right, so setting these intentions. So we really gotta like be tuned in to what we want, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So what do y'all want, viewers? What do y'all want? What do y'all want in the comments? Let us know. What do you want? What do you want? Let us know.
Yeah. While they're doing that, this one is popping up in my mind.
Okay.
And again, this kind of goes back to that programming and the things that we do, we don't even think about. It just happens naturally because it's what we've been taught, right?
Yeah.
This is a really good one. When people say our words have power, I think we can all agree with, our words have power, right? And we frivolously sometimes use words or sayings and things like that. But that's an intention, right? When we say that thing, particularly
Right.
when we like add an emotion or an inflection, like the mind's like, oh wait, okay, that's what we're doing. That's what we believe. So this is a really good one that a lot of us do. That's a good, easy one to break. When someone asks you for money and you say, I ain't got it, right? Now I don't have it. What happens is you're telling the mind that you don't have money. Remember, I said earlier, when we have those subconscious and unconscious thoughts, the thing goes to match that subconscious and unconscious thought. So
Uh-huh.
now we've created the environment where the self is like, oh, wait, no, she doesn't have money. Oh, wait, no, let's make her lose that. Okay, wait, this bill has to pop up so that she doesn't have money, right?
Uh,
Versus
that's not good.
versus, just simply saying, right now, right? I don't have it for you. I know that feels bad, right? That feels bad. Or one of the sometimes like right now, the kids wanted to do something. I was like, today I
Uh-huh.
don't have it. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm very intentional. I am very intentional, particularly as it relates to my money, about
Yeah.
the words that come out of my mouth. Because
Gotcha.
I recognize that those words are setting the intention that my unconscious mind is going to follow and tap into.
All right. I got it. I received that. Malicia said she wants your booking information. We're gonna get it to you at the end. All right. So hold tight. All right. Ish said faith without works is dead, meaning you have to make an effort. The Christian worldview is that we are in partnership with God. We have to do something even though He is doing the heavy lifting. Okay. I can get with that. I think that though we just got a lot of messaging that we are bombarded with. And I think it's like sifting through all of it to do what we believe is quote unquote right or
Mhm.
acceptable or that will not break fellowship with those who we love or desire to be around or have the approval and recognition and acceptance from. And so I just want to challenge us, from this point forward to really listen to our voice. Like, what is Ishmael saying to Ishmael? Malicia, what's she telling you? Shakafrika, what is Shaq saying to herself?
Mhm.
Right? And really honing in on your voice because he is really trying to be the best version of you,
Mhm.
not a replica of anybody else.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
say we are all divinely and perfectly made, and it's when we start trying to be the best version of somebody else, right, that we run into trouble with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. And so, while, I'm a parent, I was raised by parents and they did the best job they could. I think I did the best job I did with my child.
Hmm.
Um, but, at the end of the day, we all have to find our way. And so I really love hearing you share about how you trained up your children in terms of the agency, them understanding their space, that they have space in, um their space is, kind of sacred from the standpoint of who they allow in and out of it.
Hmm.
um Getting them to think critically, expressing themselves, and that it's okay to fail. Like, I feel like, again, that, of those, I think all of those things that you mentioned are important, but that okay to fail piece has been huge. It's like, I feel like, and I'm gonna just say it like it is, but Black folks, I feel like we have held this whole burden over our shoulders. Like, we can't, like, we're gonna let down the whole race if we fail, or
Hmm.
dishonor our families if we fail.
Yes,
Um, and that's not the case. It's not the case.
it is not. It is not.
Not that we are looking to fail. I mean, we don't go into something, wanting to fail, right? But if you do, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back at it.
Yes. I'd say my parents' greatest gift to me was that at an early age, they taught me by letting me do it, they taught me, right? They taught me how to make choices.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it very clearly. I was in the band and I was a dancer and a cheerleader. I was busy. And like multiple things happened on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to my mom waiting for her to tell me what I was going to do. And she was like, "No, you are the one who has to be there. So you need to decide which one is going to bring you the greatest amount of fulfillment. You need to figure out what's important. Having fun, being, follow like this." And then that became the standard, right?
Yeah.
And so by the time I was in high school, I always say, like, I never had a curfew. Because my parents knew that they had already taught me how to logically and critically think, right? I
Mm-hmm.
already knew how to go through the consequences of something to determine if I was gonna be willing to take that consequence or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had done the work when they taught me how to think and
Yeah.
gave me permission, essentially, by letting me pick which one I wanted to do. They were giving me
Mm.
permission to make a choice that wasn't necessarily what they thought I should do.
Yeah.
And that someone just said, who defines the failure, right? So they were letting
Mm.
me fail if I needed to fail without holding it over my head.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
That's rich. That's good. That's good stuff. Good stuff. More parents need to do that. Listen, we around here giving ribbons for all the participants instead of just doing first, second, and third. But hey, I ain't gonna step on nobody's toes. All right. Let's see. So Malcolm said we fall down, but we get back up and do it again. Then not only do we do it again, Malcolm, we try to do it better the next time around. Like, what lesson did we learn when we fell down so that we won't fall down like that again? We might fall again, but let's not fall the same way we just fell. All right.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
All
We
four
got,
things.
yes, Mr. Nick Maddox on with us. Thank you for joining us. We are about to wrap up our conversation about how to live aligned, liberated, and abundantly with Dr. Latoya Davis. This was good. This is really, really
Yeah.
great stuff. So I want to give you an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell folks how they can connect with you, as well as give another shout out about the event that you have coming up.
Yeah. So, one, just thank you again so much for having me. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I appreciated your
Yep.
energy and reading the comments. So, thank you for that. Um, Again, the title of today's episode or tonight's episode is really geared from a conference that I'm having on September 14th, Aligned, Liberated, and Abundant. And it is myself and four other speakers having conversations that really all tie into this. But the beautiful thing about the conference is that, as opposed to it just being conversations, there are practical tips, right? So each speaker is giving very easy to apply easy to apply practical tips to kind of help us shift into that alignment, liberation, and abundance. And you can register for that conference. It's going across the scroll, but that is at chicourses.com/ALA virtual. And if you use the code CHI5, so the number 5, CHI, the number 5, you'll get $5 off if you join us in the conference. And then if you just want to catch up with me personally, or business wise, I am on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm on all the things, right? You can look for me at Chi Healing Institute or Dr. Latoya Davis. And then my website is drlatoyadavis.com. When you go to the website, there'll be a pop-up for you to join the mailing list. And when you join the mailing list, you will get a free mindset course. I was like, what's popping up? You'll get a free mindset course when you join the mailing list. So yeah.
Nice. So you all please connect. Now, this conference that you have coming up, is this just for women?
So although I always say my primary demographic is women, but I do work with, I say my primary demographic is Black women, but I work with everyone. I have men in my community as well who show up to all of the things. And the reality is these concepts that we just talked about today are not specific to women, right? We're all struggling with the same thing, and we can all benefit from the information.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. My mom said this has gone on for generations. We must do better. Yes, we should. We need to. We must. Shaq agreed. Ish, being that we are dynamic and not static, honing in to our best selves can at times seem elusive. Ooh, it can. So what we gonna do about that, Ish? What we gonna do about that? What we gonna do about that?
Yeah. My belief on that though is if every day you're giving yourself permission to follow the highest version of you, like you're gonna always be in alignment. It only becomes elusive when we're trying to hold on to the thing that was back there. Right. If I'm constantly moving with the flow, then I'm never trying to get someplace. I'm in the flow and I'm going with the flow. I start to push up and I'm like, oh, but wait, that thing back there felt good. Wait, let me go back. Oh, wait, no, we're shifting again. That's when it becomes this thing. But if I'm in flow and I trust that I'm in flow, then I will always get to where I need to be. Always make the next best right choice.
So I'm a challenge that a little bit because we have this elusiveness that Ish is mentioning. I can see because again, we've been programmed a certain way, right? At these systems that exist. And while the systems aren't necessarily for all people, we navigate them the best way that we can, right? And so what might appear to be like the flow because of these systems and the way we've been taught that we should move and do what we supposed to do, it might seem natural, sort of, kind
So
of.
let me ask you this though, right? In those spaces where we're doing what we're supposed to do, we're going to work, we're doing the thing, we're getting the raises, does it feel good? Or does it feel okay? Right? Does it feel like I am thriving and living the best version of my life? Or does it feel it's like, dang, I got to get up and okay, great, I'm here, I'm on. Let me turn it on so I can do this thing. That's not flow. That's programming, right? That's definitely us operating in the programming, but that's not us operating in flow. Because when I'm operating in flow, I was just in Brazil for a month. At no point did I wake up in Brazil like, dang, I got to do this again. I got to go walk down to this beach and lay on this beach again, right? At no point did that cross my mind, right?
Mm,
Even when I went to do my work, I had my laptop sitting, like that wasn't even like tedious, right?
mm,
Because it was on my own time,
right.
on my own schedule. I was getting to do it how and when I wanted to. When school started, sorry, Florida said I love y'all. When school started, on Monday, and that first student came to me talking about whatever they were talking about, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm back. Right.
Mm,
I'm back. Right. And so part of that feeling, remember, alignment is we feel good about it. It shows up,
mm,
it feels good. And when it doesn't, we have to say, okay, what about this doesn't feel good? Let me
yeah.
figure out what here is causing that stick. And then we can get ourselves back into the flow.
All right, Ish. So we trying to get into the flow, not the programming. The flow. So he said, good way to start a new month. Thank you for sharing such good information. Working on me. Yes, we are all
Yeah.
works in progress. So you're
Yes.
in good company, Ishmael. Good
Yes.
company.
Yes.
Whew. All right. You stepped on my toes a little bit, Dr. Toya, but I'm working on it. Just like Ish. I'm working on it. So
We all are. It's okay.
indeed. All right. Well, this has been really, really great. I really appreciate it. Y'all, please, I'm going to put the banner up one more again. Please connect with her. The event is coming up on the 14th.
Yes. September 14th is virtual, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes. And if you put in the code, what's the code again?
CHI5.
CHI5, you get $5 off, and that is from 10 to 4. So definitely do your best if your schedule will allow to take advantage of it. It'll be more of this type of conversation on alignment, liberation, and abundance.
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. And for those of you who are new to Conversations with Nicole, I invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. and the focus is on mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities. So please, let's keep this conversation going. Let's work on being aligned, liberated, and abundant. Share this link with a friend. And for those of you in the replay, let us know in the comments, what do you want? What's your intention? Let us know in the comments what your intention is. I'm curious. Set that intention. Listen, set the intention, trust the intention will come to pass, and do the work. Those are the nuggets, the gems that were dropped tonight.
Yeah.
So again, hopefully you all have benefited from this conversation. I hope that you will live aligned, liberated, and abundant. I plan to do the same. And we'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.